Hi guys, welcome to the director's commentary of Assignment 002, the Charlie Smith conspiracy. Now, as you can see, it starts off with the Assignment 001 starting to try and refresh your memory. It's not much seen of it, but it's just like the big reveal saying, oh, the hoodie he was chasing after was actually him, for people who haven't actually seen the first one. So, in a way, you can sort of watch from there, but there's a lot of reference. It's much better to watch from the first one. And there's obviously a long pause there with the music over it to lead up to it. And on the day, actually, I wasn't sure whether I was going to do a second one or not. I was planning not to and do something completely new and fresh for the F&P, but I, in the end, decided not to, obviously. So I filmed those scenes there when me and my granddad wanted to go to a village opposite the water as you saw in the previous shot, from the hotel, which was like a dormant, an abandoned summer village. And because this was filmed in October, it was obviously still warm, but not August or July, so people had gone home to the city and everything like that, so it's quite a dormant village, so we wanted to film there. And I think it was a very good, nice place. There weren't that many people there anyway, so it was quite good. Now, as you can see, we see the woman's face for the first time. It was it's not meant to be a shock, it's meant like, oh, things are changing now, things are changing, because essentially the big reveal's just happened, and the hitman's feeling very, very disorientated. I've always liked this bit leading up now, where because of the music and the way it's edited to the music, and it just I like the way I've done it actually, because I've actually watched it a few times since I finished it, because I like the way it was done. And I've also kept the format the same as well, with the format here where it's white with the text in the back in the foreground. That's how I did Assignment 001, but with the bullets instead. I didn't want to keep it like cliched as that. I wanted to keep it simple and not necessarily serious as well. It is a serious film, but not like too bland. Here is me making a cameo as Long Coat Man. So the reason why I had a cameo for myself was because at the time when I filmed this, I was studying into Alfred Hitchcock for an essay, and I saw that he made a lot of cameos in these films, necessarily just one shots, but I thought I'll star as a mini role and see how that goes. I popped up the camera, and my friend Ollie, who plays Jason Brown, who was there, he helped me focus it. So essentially, even though I was there, I was still directing, and yeah, really. I was essentially telling the woman there that it's been 4 months since Assignment 001, and that she should give up on trying to find him because he's gone. So she's like, I'm going to go and talk to Jason Brown. So right now, I think this is currently the first scene, not chronologically, but in terms of filming days, this was the first filming day. We filmed this small scene up in the woman's room where she'd gone home. And all this, including the scenes you saw previously, were filmed on the 18th of December. And as you can see, the colour correction is also a little bit different because it's not as orange as usual. Some of it is actually pure grey, and that is because of the evolution or the revolution or the whatever you want to call it of the actual trilogy now. Because obviously in the first one it was very different. You didn't know the whole story. It was just a man who lost his wife, which was very sad, obviously. But he was living at home. He was safe, and now into the second one, it's revealed that the hoodie wasn't who you thought it was. So it's become instantly a more darker thing. So it's a lot different in terms of colour correction to try and portray the emotions that you should be feeling. Now that scene there where he runs off and just disappears, as much as people sort of giggled at that, I don't mind it, because it is something to sort of go, oh well, he just tricked her and she must be thick or something like that. But people can think of it if they want to like that, but in a way he only ran out of shot. Essentially he wouldn't be that far away from her, but it shows even as he's older, he's still sort of stealthy enough to just completely escape view from her, and yet she's an agent as well. Here I wanted to keep the format the same as well as the Assignment 001, where he got the letterbox, the same sound effect was used earlier, and he got the letter, but with the Hitman, you didn't see what the letter said, so that gave a bit more to the silentness of the film. This one, because it's the same format, you can already guess what it's saying. So she's here explaining that Assignment 002 is the last option after Assignment 001, which is to do something. So essentially it's to find Bruce, and Bruce's name is the character's name. The Hitman, who we've all referred to as the Hitman, is Bruce. But I'm not going to, from continuing onwards from this commentary, I'm not going to carry on calling him Bruce. I'm going to continue to call him the Hitman. Because even though the people call him Bruce, I feel the audience should continue to call him the Hitman, because that's what he is. He is a hitman. But not saying that you shouldn't call him Bruce, but it's better, in my opinion, it just plays out more towards the character if you just call him the Hitman. It keeps us more of a not necessarily a character, but more of an arc, like a sort of story arc to that. Instead of saying, oh, Bruce and Jason did this, it's more like the Hitman. And if you don't understand what I mean, then call him Bruce. But you know, I did like the shots we did here, which was in which it has the Hitman walking straight after the woman, and she's none the wiser as well. It just shows how stealthy he is. He literally just ran a few meters away from her, he completely disappeared, and then she's gone. And essentially she leaves the house, and he's like already there, and they're hunting. The woman's hunting him. He's literally there trying to remember things about his wife. As you can see here, he's doing so. It's all silent, including this bit, because I think personally you've had too much of it. You've seen too much of the clip of him shouting Sarah, so it was time to show you it again, but without the sound. So it was a bit more that he can't really remember. It's not all coming through properly. And obviously he comes here and looks around his own bedroom, right? And it reminds him of what happened in Assignment 001, where he thought and remembered the Sarah. So again, it all clicks with him. He remembers things. So he's starting to remember things now, obviously, because his mind's all mixed up with the Charlie Smith thing and everything like that. So then he knows that he has to go and find Jason, and off he goes to go find Jason, essentially. As you can see, they're now meeting up at the same place that the Hitman and the woman did. Later on you find out the woman's name, which is I think Sophie. I think it's literally said once, but it's another reference to the next film. Now this, again, this is all in black and white, obviously. There were some scenes which were actually a bit more orangey than usual, which is this one. It's kind of still a reference because obviously he's in his house, and his house is where it all started, so I suppose it's more... there are some scenes which are grey and some scenes that aren't, to sort of suit the mood, and I think as not really noticeable as it is, as you can see here, it's full on dark, black and white. And he's talking about Malta, which is one of the references you don't really understand until like you actually watch it fully. But he sort of talks more about it, and it's first time explained. And like here, it's not as dark anymore. Suddenly he's realised something, he's found something. So it immediately starts to get lighter and not as dark as talking about what happened to the hoodie in the last film, and it turned out to be you. And obviously they find out the weapon that they can use against MI5, MI6 in their own film, in their own building. So as you can see here, I had to use green screen for this because obviously the college wouldn't let me film there in the end. It was originally going to be filmed on the 3rd floor in the viewing room, where it was going to look more like an office. So in the end they couldn't, because they had uni things going on, uni students, and probably open evenings as well. I'm not entirely sure. But I couldn't film there in the end, so I had to do it on green screen. So I filmed all of Ollie's scenes as Jason Brown at the end of February, I think it was the 27th, and all of my granddad's as the Hitman, and the woman's scenes on the 12th of March, which was coincidentally the day before it got released, because I decided whenever I release them on YouTube, it will always be on the 13th of a month, because Assignment 001 was released on the 13th of December. Assignment 002 was released on the 13th of March, and the next one, the first assignment, is going to be released on the 13th of May. Trailers have been made for Assignment 002 and the first assignment, which I'm not entirely sure will be coming along with this DVD or not, but here's the big explanation in which it sort of explains what's happened, which is essentially that Bruce, the Hitman, is Charlie Smith. Bruce and Charlie are the same person. So essentially they are one and the same as the Hitman. So whenever I reference the Hitman, I reference Bruce and Charlie. But you sort of understand now that they are the same person. The Hitman continues to try and understand this a bit more. It doesn't feel right calling him the Hitman now that it's actually been revealed that the Hitman is actually representing two people. I'm going to call him Bruce from now on in the rest of this. So Bruce is currently trying to understand what's happening. He is a bit dazed and everything. These scenes actually didn't take that long to do. They took about 2 hours for my mum and my granddad scene. Now this scene here was the most hated scene in the whole film, because it's essentially Ollie in my room on green screen running on the spot and firing, and the background being put on going backwards. It's the best I could do, because obviously I'm not going to be able to find a random corridor in the college to have Ollie travel to from that one shot and leave again. And as well as that, I didn't really have the time for it, so because I had 4 other FMPs to do. So I worked with what I had, and people were saying you can get rid of the shot, but then these two characters react to the gunshot. If I just had the gunshot by itself, people would wonder what's happened to Jason. So because you haven't seen him, it might lower down not necessarily the production value, but the story, because you just leave Jason, you don't know where he's gone. Again, it's kind of a reference. Now here, this is where you see Bruce becoming a bit darker, where he says, look, if you want to, the gas has been turned on, if you want to die from gas, let yourself die from gas painfully, or you can shoot yourself in the head and not die of gas. And I use this scene here, which just zooms into the door and all you hear is a gunshot, so you don't even need to think about what really happened. You just know what really happened. You know that she sort of shot herself in the head. So again, no real explanation is really needed. So now what's happening is the Hitman is coming, well, Bruce is coming to terms with what he's really done. As you can see, he's not feeling very happy about it, so Jason's trying to comfort him, but as you can see, he's now got a different expression, obviously, and then Jason has to go. He has to obviously go and see his family. He's just survived a whole thing, so he's obviously saying he'll be back. And there's Bruce not looking very happy, and yeah, he just gets shot. My name is Charlie, and that essentially is saying that when he closed his eyes and looked down, he was becoming Charlie, and when he looked up and looked very, very stern, that was Charlie. That was the whole thing of Charlie. That's why he was staring and thinking. And obviously here we have a very similar credit sequence, which is very similar to the intro of Assignment 001. And that's essentially it. That is my director's commentary for Assignment 002, the Charlie Smith Conspiracy. I hope you liked it, and hopefully you'll enjoy the first assignment. You hope the first assignment director's commentary as well. Unfortunately, my camera can only film 12 minutes at a time, so I'm hoping that it won't cut out anytime soon. I think this one already cut out at least once, so I'll try and see what I can work with. Alright then, thanks for watching. Bye.